Madhava Gopijana Bālāva Girivaradhari Gopijana Bālāva Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vrajajararanjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Bālāva Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vrajajararanjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Bālāva Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vrajajararanjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radha Shama Sundarada, Shama Sundarade. Jaya Radha Shama Sundarada, Shama Sundarade. Haribo, 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 Nitai Go, Haribo. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Haribo, Jayom Vishnupada-Paramahamsa Virajagacharya, Sodara Sadasisi Madhis Vangre Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anandi Gauri Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Sri Radha Shama Sundara Ki Jai, Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kundara Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Marani Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Jai Gaur Premanandi, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So today we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's Canto 10, chapter 53, and we go to verse 44 and 45. So the one on the board is 44? This is the 44. 44, yeah. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, start the word. āsādya, devī-sadanaṁ, dhauta-pāda-karāmbujā, upaspṛśya, śuciḥ, śāntā, praviveśāmbikāntikam, praviveśāmbikāntikam, āsādya devī-sadanaṁ, dhauta-pāda-karāmbujā, upaspṛśya śuciḥ śāntā, praviveśāmbikāntikam, āsādya devī-sadanaṁ, dhauta-pāda-karāmbujā, upaspṛśya śuciḥ śāntā, praviveśāmbikāntikam. Any ladies? Translation, word by word. āsādya, reaching. Devi, of the goddess. Sadanam, the residence. Dhauta, washing. Pada, her feet. Kara, and hands. Ambujā, lotus-like. Upaspṛśya, sipping water for purification. Śuciḥ, sanctified. Śāntā, peaceful. Praviveśa, she entered. Ambikā-antikam, the presence of Ambika. Translation with no purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Upon reaching the goddess temple, Rukmiṇī first washed their lotus feet and hands and then sipped water for purification. Thus sanctified and peaceful, she came into the presence of Mother Ambika. Please repeat after me. Upon reaching the goddess temple, Rukmiṇī first washed their lotus feet and hands, and then sipped water for purification. Thus sanctified and peaceful, she came into the presence of Mother Ambika. So there is no purport here. We'll go to the next one, text 45. Tam vai pravayaso bālāṁ vidijna viprayaśita bhavanim vandayam chakrur bhavapatnim bhavanvitam. Translation. The older wives of Brahmans, expert in the knowledge of rituals, led young Rukmiṇī in offering respects to Bhavani, who appeared with her consort, Lord Bhava. Please repeat after me. The older wives of Brahmans, expert in knowledge of rituals, led young Rukmiṇī in offering respects to Bhavani, who appeared with her consort, Lord Bhava. Purport. According to the Acharyas, here the term Bhavanvitam indicates that in the Ambika temple visited by Rukmiṇī, the presiding deity was the goddess whose husband appeared in an accompanying role. Thus the ritual was properly performed by women. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that the term Vidijna may be understood to be that since the learned wives of Brahmans knew Rukmiṇī's desire to marry Krishna, the verb vandayam chakrur thus indicates that they prompted her to pray for what she really wanted. In this way, like the goddess Bhavani, Rukmiṇī could be united with the eternal male companion. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangalam gayate girim. Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a lame man can cross mountains. By his mercy, a blind man can see stars in the sky. And again, by his mercy, a dumb man like me can speak few words on Srimad Bhagavatam today. I offer my humble obeisances to the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Tamala Krishna Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskadadi Satarine. And my humble obeisances to all the residents of Vrindavan, all of you, and all those who are not present today. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai. So we read again the verse. Upon reaching the goddess temple, Rukmiṇī first washed her lotus feet and hands, and then sipped water for purification. Thus sanctified and peaceful, she came into the presence of Mother Ambikā. The older wives of Brahmins, expert in the knowledge of rituals, led young Rukmiṇī in offering respects to Bhavani, who appeared with her consort, Lord Bhava. Thank you for inviting me to give a class yesterday. I just came yesterday to Vrindavan, and the very first contact I had was Brahmachari Prabhu. Dharma. Oh, Hare Krishna Prabhu. My old friend Panchagoda Prabhu. Thank you for inviting me into Vrindavan Dham by the mercy of the devotees. I'm here today after 5 years. I almost died during the COVID, so it's a miracle that I'm here in your association. Yeah, we have to be grateful for everything that is given to us, the gift of life, where they say in Italy, life is short. There is no time for a gentleman to hate anyone because he's busy loving everyone. No, he's busy. No, there is no time to hate those who love me because I'm busy loving those who love me. Something like that, I can't remember. Yeah, it's good. I forgot, the way it goes, but so I was pulled by the love of Vrindavan to come back here, the love of the devotees and Krishna. And today we say a few words on this, speaking about gratitude. Here we have Rukmiṇī, the consort of Krishna to be. Later on, she will find the desired husband. She came. We all come to the temple for some purification or some motivation. There is a motivation in the heart. Otherwise, we would be impersonalist. We do come to the temple because maybe we want to get purified, or maybe we want some blessings from Krishna, or maybe because we're pulled by the love of Krishna, or because we feel love towards Krishna. There is some reason why we come to the temple. I certainly myself came to Vrindavan to get purified from all my sins. Of course, my Vrindavan is out there. I distribute books every day. In UK, I take care of the book distributors, and that is, I do it for purification and for the love of humanity. If we don't love humanity, we cannot serve humanity. If we don't love the devotees, he can't serve the devotees. So, Rukmiṇī here, she has a great bundle of love towards Krishna, towards the husband-to-be. And that's why she's seeking to fulfill her desire, because she wants to serve the Lord for the rest of her life. So she came to the temple with her motivation. And there are different types of approach. If you want worship, if you want a husband, you worship Uma or Ambika here, which is the wife of Lord Shiva. If you want a good wife, you worship Lord Shiva, and he will grant you a good wife. If you want the power, you worship Baladev, Savai, Bālāṁ, Balinam, Chaparisham. The Bhagavatam says, by worshipping Lord Baladev, one becomes empowered by the Lord. If you worship Goddess Saraswati, you get knowledge. If you want wealth, then you worship Sri Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, the wife of Narayan. So there are so many different types of worship. Here, on this particular one, I didn't prepare myself very much today, but we will discuss a little bit about the motivation of Rukmiṇī. She worshipped Ambika to gain the best of the best as a husband. Just like Draupadi, she worshipped also Lord Shiva to get the best husband. But in her heart, it said that she wanted a husband even better than Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, he almost granted the desire. She couldn't give the best man. She couldn't grant the gift of Lord Krishna. It was given to her. He fulfilled their desires in a particular way, divided in 5 parts. The 5 Pandavas, they represent, united together, they represent the Lord Krishna himself. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned in somewhere in the Bhagavatam that there is no difference of the worship of the 5 Pandavas and Lord Krishna himself. The 5 Pandavas together, they represent the embodiment of Lord Krishna. They're not different from Lord Krishna. So, and Draupadi, she received the 5 Pandavas as husband. We all know who they are. And Rukmiṇī here, she's worshipping the wife of Shiva to get Lord Krishna as a husband. And it's very particular the way she achieved him as a husband. In terms of Vedic injunctions, culture, it's very unethical, to kidnap someone, a girl, and you marry that girl. Of course, in Italy, it's sometimes it goes on that they first put the coat on the man, and then they try to put the T-shirt on top. They kidnap if the parents, they are not favorable towards the union, so the boy kidnaps the girl, and they say, oh, they they run away. And men, they had an affair and then they have to get married. That when they came back, it's a sacrilege, for the girl to be given back to the parents after she's been together with a boy. So therefore the parents said, okay, so you run away with her, so you have to get married to her now. And that's the way. It's not really encouraged to do such a thing. It's only when the parents, they don't want to. Either the parents of the man or parents of the lady. Sometimes it goes on in UK. There is a Muslim family, they have a boy, and a Gujarati family, Hindu family, a girl. The parents, they don't want, they're not favorable towards the union, so they run away. And sometimes what happens if it's the other way around, if the girl is Muslim, sometimes she gets killed by the parents. It's a fact. It happens. Because they rather have the daughter killed than being mixing with another race, which is not the similar culture and religion. So that goes on. Here in this case, Rukmiṇī, she loved Krishna even before she met him. Just like we feel love for Krishna even before we see him. I don't think, hands up if anyone has seen Krishna face to face. But, we learn how to love. If you don't learn to love what you see, you can never learn to love what you don't see. I've been educated to love Krishna properly in the association of the devotees. So we first learn to love what we see, the devotees around us, the Guru. And then it's an exercise. Once we learn to love the surrounding, love the nature, love humanity, love the Vaishnavas, love the Guru, and then the love of Krishna becomes more clear. By the mercy of the recipient, of the Vaishnavas and the Guru, we can actually experience some feeling, some love for Krishna. And otherwise, when we come to the temple, we just see a piece of marble or stone or a picture, painting, but we don't see the Lord within that frame. So Rukmiṇī, she, of course, she's part and parcel. No, actually, she's constitute the happiness of Krishna, the internal potency of Krishna. She's an expansion of Srimati Radharani, and it's not a sacrilege. It's not something, a scandal for Krishna to kidnap his own happiness. It belongs to him, the pleasure potency. I have a friend in Italy who is he chose the Catholic monastery life. He became Catholic priest. I was brought up in the Catholic monastery, but I came out at the age of 16 and I became a Hare Krishna. But it's interesting, when I gave him Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, to read, I said, I don't want to convert you. But he got stuck, on this, Krishna, our God, having 16,000 wives. It was something very... 16 million, exactly. So I had to explain to him, but he couldn't get it. he said, how can he also have an affair with other people's wife, and how can he have, he appears to be like a debauchee here, something. So I had to explain, that there is nothing wrong for God to have an intimate affair with his own happiness. Just like the pleasure, the consort of Krishna, Srimati Radharani, where all the consort, Rukmiṇī, Lakshmi Devi, they all coming from the embodiment of Srimati Radharani, she is the pleasure potency of Krishna. And if you go, somewhere in Vrindavan on your own, and you have an affair with your own happiness, nobody can criticize you, isn't it? Because it belongs to you. Your happiness is your own intimate feeling. So even a God, he's got his own happiness. We practice meditation to achieve peace of mind, happiness, because that thing is very dear to us. We all want to be happy. And that happiness is the most precious thing that we have in our heart. And even more than our wives, husband, children, because it's a very intimate thing. Everything we do is to enhance, to serve our happiness. So God, he also has a happiness in his heart, and it has a female aspect. That's Srimati Radharani, Rukmiṇī. So I was explaining all these things too. And as far the having an affair with the wives of somebody else, even Abhimanyu, for example, there is an answer for everything. Yeah. Bhagavatam, Krishna books make no mistakes. We shouldn't accept things blindly. The Acharya, they explain why everything is like that. It appears to be that you have an affair, that Krishna has an affair with somebody else's wife, but it's not a fact. Like Panchagoda Prabhu, why only 16,000? We are all wives of Krishna. We are all millions, billions. Eko Bhaunam, originally the living entities, they all reside into the heart of Krishna, into the heart of Srimati Radharani. We are all part of the Ladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of Krishna. And it's only that Shakti and Krishna originally that exist on his own. But then he expands himself for his pleasure, for the pleasure of Srimati Radharani, for our pleasure. God is wonderful. So he also expounds himself as an Abhimanyu. Abhi means both, two. He's a man and he's a human, and he's also God. Abhi, Manyu. Manyu means man. So he's a human and he's not human at the same time. It's Krishna himself. He expands himself as his own shadow. Because who else can marry Srimati Radharani? Murtimat Anasuyave, what's the verse? Any mortal man cannot marry Srimati Radharani. The jiva cannot do that. Only Krishna and his expansion. So he expanded himself as Abhimanyu, and he married. Actually, believe it or not, I have found out about this after 7, 8 years. I couldn't understand why Krishna is having an affair with somebody else's wife. But, by the help of the Acharya, we can understand that Abhimanyu, it's Lord Krishna himself. So he should never be criticized, the Lord. And Rukmiṇī, it's his own wife. It belongs to him, not to the father and the mother of Rukmiṇī, not to the brother of Rukmiṇī, and not to Duryodhan, because the brother Rukmiṇī, he wanted Rukmiṇī to marry Duryodhan. But the father of Rukmiṇī wanted her to marry Krishna. But because Rukmiṇī was a demon, a very powerful demon, a friend of Duryodhana. And the father, he had no power to actually override the desire of his son. Just like Duryodhana, very powerful. I don't want to call them demons, but they're all puppeteers of Krishna. But he was very powerful. He was very powerful, to make the Pandavas shaking. They are not ordinary personalities. And he was much more powerful than his own father, Dhritarashtra. So, Rukmiṇī, she had this desire, and the Lord fulfilled the desire in a very beautiful, chivalrous way. He kidnapped her, and she became legitimately or illegitimately his wife. You can actually judge the way you want, but God is not to be judged, because āpurusheya, everything he does is perfect. Everything he says is perfect. Everything, just like when you see someone we say, oh, that person is a fool, or it's an ignorant, or it's ugly, or that is an offense to God. We should never judge anybody, never. Every one of us is dear to Krishna equally. Because why is an offense to God? Because if God creates useless things, stupid things, then he must be a stupid God. But he doesn't. So therefore, if someone is, we say that is useless, that person, is an offense to Krishna. Not just to that person, to Krishna, because he created that person for his own pleasure. Each one of us is being created by Krishna to give him pleasure in a particular way. We don't know yet, because we are not yet liberated, but we will come to know once we are liberated what kind of pleasure we can bring to Krishna. It's a very precious thing, the existence, the jiva existence is very precious to Krishna. We are very dear to him. There's a verse in the Gita, Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jidendriya Sarva Bhudatma Bhudatma Kurvanapina Lipyate. Anybody knows the translation of that verse? There's one who acts always with devotion, is very dear to everyone, and everyone is very dear to him or to her. And because he acts always with devotion, the master of the senses and the mind, he can never be overwhelmed by the material energy, by illusion. So, we are very dear to Krishna, and once we become purified, not just Krishna becomes dear to us, but also all the living entities. That's why Prabhupada, out of love for us, he came to the West. He had a tangible love, not something we say in general, he loved everyone. No. Prabhupada, a pure devotee, he can actually enter with his knowledge, with his bhakti shakti, he can enter in the heart of everybody, of humanity. Sometimes I do that because before I distribute books, I read a verse from Bhagavad Gita to try to become empowered by the book. And then I pray to the Lord, let my compassion, enter into the heart of humanity. Why do I pray like that? Because they are dear to Krishna. So, and they're also dear to me. I may not know, I don't know many of you sitting here, but because you love Krishna, so I love you. And I'm sure, you will find something in me that you love because I'm talking about Krishna. So that's the beauty. When a God is in the center, then we become dear to the listeners become dear to the speaker, because Krishna is the embodiment of love. God is in the form of Srimati Radharani and Rukmiṇī. Those are not just ordinary personalities. They are in our heart. Srimati Radharani is in our heart. When we feel happiness and love, that's the female energy of the Lord becoming manifest in our heart. And so therefore we are dear to them also, to these personalities. But this love is not blind, it needs knowledge. We have to understand who they are, the tattva behind it. Who is really Rukmiṇī? So therefore, it was not an improper act for Krishna to kidnap his own happiness. It was legitimate and it's glorious. Just like Lord Krishna, he ran away from the battle and he became known as a rancher, as a coward. Can we say God is a coward? No, there was a reason why he did that. And he had a beautiful way, very beautiful aristocratic way, how to have the demon chasing him, how to have him killed without dirtying his hands. You know the story that who was Kalivana, yes. He chased rancher, Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna entered the cave, and there was this Muchukunda sleeping there, that he had a boon from a demigods, that anyone, because he was fighting for hundreds of years, against the demons. So Indra, Brahma, they gave him the boon. Now you can rest. And he said, please give me the boon that anyone who disturbs me, if I open my eyes, I will burn that person into ashes. So Lord Krishna came in, and Kalyavana came in, to try to kill Krishna. And then Muchukunda soon opened his eyes because he was disturbed, by this disturbance, by this entrance, this conflict. And the very first person he saw was Kalyavana. And with his glance, he burned him up to ashes. See, it's wonderful how the Lord, he purifies the demons. Even without talking to them, touching them, or, without showing any anger. But he showed, a quality with his cowardness. As a coward, he killed this demon. Can you, with your bad quality, defeat someone? No, we can't do that. Usually cowardness leads us to embarrassment. Usually lies, lead us to fall down, pride. The bad qualities that we display in this world, they lead us to a fall down and to more enmity. But the Lord, whether He displays big, beautiful quality or a coward quality or kidnapping someone, everything He does is perfect. There is no mistake in the consciousness of Krishna. So it's 5 to 9, 7 minutes to 9, and the rest we will ask you if you have any comment or any questions.
You're mentioning about being tolerant and loving everyone and not finding them any faults in them in one sense. But when Prabhupada saw that the real estate and the lawyer guys were trying to cheat the devotees and ISKCON, he called them rascals and cheaters, and Krishna called, in the form of Ramachandra, Ravana like a dog, like a dog coming stealing the property. So where do we draw the line as to loving everyone compassionately, but not seeing the faults, but at the same time, if faults are there, we have to recognize them?
Mm-hmm. Good question. How do we love a person, appreciate the person when you see that person is carrying some bad qualities or some defect or some... It's we have to see with a good eye and a bad eye. Where you say the Madhyamadikari, if he sees something unfavorable, then he avoids the demons, he avoids them. But we not try to judge people, because the judgment should be done by Krishna. Of course, if you are in the position as a temple president of
Thank you.
Of Krishna Balaram temple, a leader has to sometimes judge situations, but still he has to maintain the good eye, because at the end of the day we are not there to judge, condemn someone and extradite the person from bhakti or devotional service, condemn that person forever without seeing any good. No, we use the good eye and the bad eye. We're not foolish, we can see that mistakes are there, danger is there in the person, and we have to deal with it. And that's when management, it's important. A Kshatriya does both. Managers, they're like Kshatriya, they do both. They protect and they attack. So you can attack the bad quality of someone in a protective way. You have to, it should be done in a very knowledgeable way, in a kind way. Of course, the judgment of the demigods, the devotees, towards another person, it's different from the judgment that you have from the judge in this world, or the demons judging other people. There is ongoing war, conflict, because we don't know how to judge. Prabhupada, yes, he called the rascal and fools, but for higher good, but he also glorifies them as well. And at the end of his life, in his room, he begged for forgiveness, for all the words that he used in his books and in his verbal conversation. It's because it was out of compassion. He could see that humanity was crushed by prejudice and by the demoniac idealism. And so Prabhupada, he felt angry, and some words, they came out. But we should not imitate in that way. Where they say we should do what they do, we should do what they say, don't do what they do. We should follow the Acharya, we should follow Lord Ramachandra, but don't do what he does. Let's not do what Prabhupada did, starting to go around and calling everyone demons and rascals. And nowadays, it's very prolific. There is a world of scrutiny. You could be arrested, for discrimination, for judgment, for gender discrimination, there is a lot of respect towards this ethical, different types of culture in life. Yeah, so it's a good question. We have to use both, good eye and a bad eye.
My left eye is the bad eye, okay.
It could be the good one because it's connected to the swamsa, the Paramatma. Anyone else?
Well, thank you very much. That's a practical wisdom. Yet in our culture, our criteria for what is good and not is Guru Sadhu Shastra, and we also have Shastra Shakshu. We try and see everything to get beyond our imperfections and our mistakes. We try and see everything through the eyes of knowledge, through the eyes of Scripture. And for us, everything that Prabhupada does is as good as Scripture, everything he says. So we still use that as a criteria for proper behavior and proper judgment. And so it's not that Prabhupada is still the standard, you know. So I can't really agree with your idea about not following Prabhupada's example, because you sort of hinted in that, you know. But of course, we cannot imitate a perfect soul, a perfect lover of Krishna like that. We're aspiring to follow in his footsteps and gain those qualities and that wisdom and equanimity or that equal vision. We're aspiring for that. So in that sense, we don't want to imitate Prabhupada, but we still are trying to get to that higher perception by Prabhupada's instructions and example, eh?
Yeah, to clarify, thank you for bringing it up. To clarify better, you wanted to add on something on that? Yeah. I wanted to qualify my statement. Prabhupada himself, he says in the Bhagavatam, we should do what they say, but don't do what they do. The great sages, the Mahajans, that we do what they say, but don't imitate them. That's what I meant.
During one big lecture, one very sophisticated looking person came from all the way in the back to the front and started glorifying himself, I'm this, I'm that. Then he ultimately said, I am God. He said, oh, you're God? And Prabhupada was very quiet. He said, you are not God, you are a dog. And everybody just clapped, and the man stood up and walked back again. And it was all satisfied with just 2 words. I mean, not like I appreciate we don't try to speak, you know, oh, you're just a demon rascal, you're a fool. But also a very good point here that Prabhupada was also happy when the scientific devotees could philosophically smash the impersonalists and also the rascal materialistic scientists. And sometimes words may be inappropriate, you know, like, but your point is very good. Samadhara, you know, a devotee sees everyone equally, the Lord in everyone's heart. So Prabhupada is also teaching us to use our discrimination and intelligence properly as Vaishnava. When they say, what is a Vaishnava, Prabhupada? Perfect gentleman.
Yeah. No, you are right. We have to spell out and verbalize our training, you know, towards someone who is not behaving nicely. The most important thing is it's not what we say or what we do, but how we do it. If you do it with compassion, with bhakti, Prabhupada did it with love. That's why a lot of them, even a lot of disciples, they didn't feel hurt to be chastised by Prabhupada because he did it with love. I mean, I was the first European disciple of Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And for any of you who had experience, you know, he was very hard, you know. But he used to call me hard-head because, you know, it took time for me to learn, you know, things and to serve him. I made a lot of mistakes. But the way he chastised me, and we used to have arguments, and he did it in a loving way, and he didn't scare me away. So he was well trained by Prabhupada. Prabhupada well trained by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and all the Acharya. You know, we all know that The Acharya, that's the thing. We have to become expert how to chastise and how to praise someone. Like you said.
Next time I'm going to try to chastise someone very nicely, okay?
Yeah. So thank you very much. I think I'm bridging is that okay? Finish. All right. Thank you for your audience. Hare Krishna. Ogroshala Prabhupada.